Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys some productivity and study tips coming from a college student. So let's just get right into the video. Alright, so just a little disclaimer, I'm only a sophomore in college, and so I honestly don't know all that I could know about this topic, but I do feel like I've developed some pretty good study habits and things that have helped me be really productive. Alright, so just a little like backstory on all of this. In high school, I never really had to study. I don't know how I got away with it, but I got really lucky. I still did well in high school, but then when I actually got to college, it was like a very big shock. I did decent my first semester, but it wasn't as good as I could have done because I honestly had no idea how to study. I was pretty good at managing my time, and I've always been pretty good at that, which is kind of why I did well in high school, but I really didn't know how to study, and it was really hard balancing my time, especially in college when you are doing so many things in one day and you have a lot of different classes to think about and just lots of responsibilities. So basically I started developing better study habits my second semester of college. I ended up writing down my list of tips, so I'm going to be looking down at my phone, so don't mind that, but I just wanted to remember exactly all the things that I do and just things that really have helped me. So the first tip, and honestly one of the most important tips that I have, is to just not procrastinate. I know it can be really easy to put things off until the end. I used to be a procrastinator, and then I found that my life was a lot easier when I stopped doing that. And by not procrastinating, I don't mean that you have to like sit down and knock out an assignment all at once. You can always start on something, do a little bit, stop, and then restart at a later time. It's just good to start getting a little bit of work out of the way earlier rather than later, so you don't feel completely stressed when the time comes to actually like turn the assignment in. So not procrastinating has really helped me. It always feels really good when I'm ahead, and I like to keep that up because there's always more work coming in college. My next tip is something that's pretty obvious, but it's something that actually really helps me, and it's listening to music while you're working. I do this all the time, especially when I like am in a place that's really busy and there's a lot of people around. Listening to music actually helps me focus, and it honestly keeps my mood up when I'm studying too because I love listening to my music. And so as simple as that is, it definitely helps. The next tip that I have is just setting a timer. I'm sure many of you have heard of the Pomodoro method. I think that's how it's pronounced, which is basically where you work in increments and you take breaks in increments. So you like work for 30 minutes, let's say, and then you take a 5-minute break in between that and work for 30 more minutes. There's a lot of people who are a lot more strict with that schedule than I am. I usually just like set a timer for like 30 minutes or an hour or a random time, and in that time I cannot do anything. I have to put my phone aside and I have to just keep working, and it usually motivates me and helps me to be a little bit more disciplined kind of on that point. And again, this is another obvious one, but it's one that helps me. Put your phone on do not disturb, put it to the side, and just don't let yourself look at your phone for a certain amount of time. So a lot of it is just really developing a lot of self-discipline and doing these little things that will eventually turn into habits and help you to be more productive and do better studying in the long run. My next tip is just really finding specific study spots that you really like. This can be in your room, this can be in the library, this can be anywhere you want, honestly. Like I know on TCU's campus there are so many places to go and study, so you have lots of options to find places you actually like to work. Just finding a good place to study where you really like the environment is important, because your environment dictates a lot when it comes to how much you get done and how good you feel about everything. My next tip is one that might seem kind of stupid, but it always helps me, and I've heard people talk about this and it really does help. But it's like getting a coffee or a drink. Spending a little money on a drink is going to make you feel better and be more productive and give you a little bit of joy while you're studying. It's definitely worth it, but it always helps me, and I always really enjoy it, like getting a coffee, going to work somewhere, and just like working for a really long time. It always just brightens my mood. My next tip is kind of specific, but it's to start earlier on assignments but do little portions at a time. Giving yourself more time allows you more flexibility when it comes to like picking when you want to study, how much time you want to spend studying. When you have to do something at the last minute, it's really hard to give yourself time and breaks and stuff like that. My next tip is a really big one, and it's something that took me so long to figure out. So don't be hard on yourself if you don't feel like you're doing your best work at all times, especially when you first start out. So my tip is just find study techniques that work for you and stick with them. And it's okay not to figure that out right away. Like I said, I didn't do amazing my first semester, and it really took me some time to get my groove down when it comes to studying and doing assignments and things like that. The tips I've kind of listed are things that work for me. It's not going to work for everyone. Everyone has their own work style and things that are unique to them. So kind of going off that, one technique that really works for me, and this is a technique that my friend Haley kind of showed me and it works really well, is using a notebook, and when you have to study, just writing everything out on there and just kind of like regurgitating it, because it really helps you to like see information on paper. So that's one thing I really like. Another thing that has really helped me is writing out a to-do list every week, or for certain periods of time, maybe like a day or a week or a couple of days. Just something that shows you on paper like what you need to accomplish in a certain amount of time. And it also helps me personally like relax my mind when I know that everything I need to do is written out and I don't have to store it in my mind and like remember it at all times. sometimes. I do all of my to-do lists now on my iPad, and I take a lot of notes on my iPad too. I also use my computer for notes. It just kind of depends on the class for me personally, but I do them all on here. And I got the iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil. You don't need this. You can always do this on a piece of paper. I used to do it on pieces of paper, and sometimes I still do that. This is off topic, but I really like this iPad case. It's a Logitech iPad case, and I actually got it off of Amazon. I'll link it below my Amazon storefront. I made an Amazon storefront, so if you want to check it out, go ahead, but if you don't, that's okay too. It's linked down below in my description. But I got this case off of there. I really liked it, and I will show you guys why I like it so much. It's like really protective and sturdy, which I like, and it pulls out right here. So if you want to like prop up your iPad, you can sit it on like a desk or something. Don't mind the smudges on my iPad, but it has this detachable keyboard, which I love, and it's like Bluetooth. So if you want to use it to type out notes, you can, but if you don't and want to just use it to like take notes like this, you can easily detach that. I take all my notes on this app called GoodNotes. So going back to my main screen, I have all my classes listed out. I have a separate folder for all my to-do lists, and I only have one in there right now, and it gives you templates, and it allows you to have like a to-do list template, which I love. The app was like maybe $7 or $8, but it's like so worth it, and it really has helped me. Anyway, I know that was random, but I wanted to give y'all like a tangible example of all that. Anyway, I know I went off on a lot of tangents in this video, but I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Looking back to like when I first started college, or even like second semester freshman year, I was still really like lost on all of this. I would have really liked to have a video like this. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will be at home for a few more weeks, so leave some video ideas down below in the comments that you would like to see. Thank you all again, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!